Okay. Okay, we are live now. I'm sorry for starting up the stream kind of late today, guys. I've just been busy with so many projects, and I have a lore video coming out this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, but I got a lore video coming out, and it's on GTA 6, actually. No clickbait garbage. It's actually pointing something out that a lot of people haven't noticed. Hey guys, how you doing? Hey guys, happy Friday, and looks like we're gonna have a month of snow in Red Dead, which is at least nice. Gran Turismo 7? I've never been much into racing games. Does the game have a story? If it has a story, then I might consider it. Hey Rocky, how are you, man? Mizor, Francisco, X23, Lexi, James Gaming. Hi, everyone. Okay. Hello, bro. How was your day? Did you see what I sent you on Skype? No, I didn't take a look, Justin, but I can take a look after the stream. I'll message you after the stream then. But thank you for sponsoring the channel. Okay. It actually just stopped snowing not too long ago. Hopefully it starts to back up again. Midnight Club? Yeah, I could possibly play those games one day. You should make a separate video for bully side missions. I haven't done the bully side missions, Mizur? What are the bully side missions? What are they exactly? Well, where do I go to start them? What the? Oh my god, no. Get away. Crap, this is not... Oh, I got it. That's what happens when you play too much Sniper Elite like me. Okay. How is you so smart? Well, I don't really consider myself smart, Lewis, but thank you for the comment, though.
You're done.
It makes me happy that people still play Red Dead Redemption Online and don't let it to be dead. I hope Rockstar comes to their senses and adds better mechanics and stuff in it. Yeah, and I'm trying my best to still keep this game alive somewhat. I do have a Red Dead Online video actually coming out before the end of the year, guys. So there's a video specifically on this, because I haven't done a video on Red Dead Online in, like, a long time. But I do streams. But my video on Red Dead Online will be ranking all the DLCs from worst to best. That's what it will be. So that's still gonna come out. Worst bolt-action sniper ever? I don't know. I'm not sure. You are decently educated and logical, which is admirable for modern society. Thank you, Ian. You recommend Red Dead Online? Well, Red Dead Online, I'll tell you about this game. Oh, crap, I just got destroyed. Red Dead Online is a fun game to play with your friends. But if you're playing this game by yourself, you're gonna get bored like hell. If it's your first time playing this game, then you will get, how do I say, you'll be able to complete a lot of the missions, the bounty hunter, trader, collector, naturalist, moonshiner. You'll have plenty of content to do, but once you finish all of that, then no, it's gonna get boring. Thank you, Blade. Here. Hey, Pro, sent you a message a few hours ago. Can you look? Also, dead serious, but that, kid with the locks, he got suspended again. The school ain't learned yet. Thank you for the, sponsoring my channel for over half a year, Blinded Eagle. I haven't looked at any of my messages today. I'll look at them after the stream, and I will respond to you, though. But thank you, man. Hey, Pro, hope you're doing well. I have, been enjoying your Bully playthrough. So far, all of the classes in Bully, which one's your favorite? The Geography one. Geography is my favorite one. But, wait, I was gonna... The Bully side missions. I think I missed a comment earlier. So people have told me that I should make a separate video for the Bully side missions. What are the Bully side missions exactly? Where are they? What do I do to start them? Jocks in the 5th clique you have to deal with. Their boss fight is unique. The last clique you have to deal with is the towny teenagers, outsiders. Oh, okay, London. Thank you for the super chat. I thought that the greasers were kind of like the outsiders, but I guess we'll see then. Thank you, London. What's the first mistake that Rockstar might make with GTA 6? I can already tell you a mistake that Rockstar is going to make with GTA 6. Yes, Rubio is definitely going to appear in GTA 6. I'm 95% confident in that, because Cayo Perico is not extremely far from Vice City. It's actually... He definitely has some connections to Vice City. I got the impression that Jason and Lucia took some mortgages and student loans, yeah. And they had to build a criminal empire to pay off their rent, and the story's gonna be about friendship. Do I think Tommy will be mentioned in GTA 6? No. And I'm gonna have a video talking about that, but Tommy Vercetti does not exist in GTA 6. He exists in the 3D universe, not the HD universe. Almost 2 years being a member. Great content that I'll be supporting for many more years. Thank you, Runaway 3. Thanks, man. I do appreciate it. You should teach lessons or something. Thank you, Power Noodles. I don't know if that would really be for me, personally. I think that Jason and Lucia being a couple, I mean, I was hoping it kind of didn't happen, but because I just think it's I just don't want to see any romance drama, you know, arguments personally in it. But I trust Rockstar. I guess they can possibly pull it off. One thing. Oh, is my capture card glitching out for anybody else, guys? Was it appearing? I just want to know if that's on my end or if you guys see it too. Because my capture card is glitching out a little bit. I have things that popping up on my screen. Let me know if you guys see that. Were you guys seeing that? Okay. One thing I would like to see in GTA 6, the return of Radio Espinado. Oh, I'm gonna fix that. Just one moment, guys. Capture card is messing up. Hold on. Return of Radio Espantoso or something similar. Yeah, they're definitely gonna have music like that in... They probably will, but just 1 second, hang on. I'm gonna have to reset my capture card. The capture card is just really glitching out right now. Hold on a second, everyone. Give me 1 moment. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, hold on a second. I'm sorry, everyone, about that with the capture card. Okay, now it shouldn't do it anymore. I'm really sorry, everyone, about that. It shouldn't be happening anymore. Okay, I was trying to answer the questions here. Yes, that was, correct me if I'm wrong, Victor, but that was the Cuban radio station in Vice City, right? If it is, there's definitely going to be a big Cuban presence in Vice City in GTA 6. You know, Lucia might also be Cuban, we don't know. So, if that is the case, then we're definitely gonna have a Cuban radio station. Would you consider UMG evil or just scum? Um, I guess I would consider them scum, because to be evil, you have to do some really, really, really despicable things. But UMG, I would say they're scum. I wouldn't go as far as calling them evil, but it's a scum. There's a reason that I've always called it the Universal Mafia Group. That's what I call it, the Music Mafia. That's pretty much what UMG is. They're just stealing videos from people, stealing people's ad revenue. They do it a lot of times. YouTube needs to seriously take some action against this. It's unacceptable. Thank you, U20, for the super chat. Also, I'm really sorry about the copyright thing. That was absolutely criminal. You shouldn't be struck twice in the same video. Also, did you hear a rumor? Has it? Luis Lopez is coming back. Let's not jump it, but it's cool. No, I don't think so. I don't think. I don't think. I don't think they're gonna do any other GTA like protagonists. They're gonna have like side characters, but I don't think they're gonna do another protagonist. And here's the thing I'll say about this, guys. Is you don't want to see another protagonist come back. Like, people are like, oh, I want Nico to come back, I want Luis to come back. You don't want to see another GTA protagonist come back. Because think about what Rockstar did to Johnny. Do you want to risk them doing something like that to Nico or Luis? Something stupid like that? I don't think you do. So it's better that Nico and Luis's story ends the way it does, and we never see them again, knowing their stories at least ended somewhat better than them ruining it them later on. And the person that was asking me what problems do I think will be in GTA 6, I can already tell you guys one problem that I'm predicting is going to happen. I am 99.9% certain this is going to be a problem when GTA 6 comes out. And what's that? That the servers are going to be an absolute disaster. The servers are going to be crashing like crazy. You're not going to be able to connect to any session for at least the first week, probably. That's at least what I'm predicting is going to happen. Because just imagine what the GTA 6 online servers are going to be like. Just imagine that. Just think about the servers. GTA 6 online will probably launch 2 weeks after the single player, just like for Red Dead and GTA 5. But just think about that. Just think right now. Imagine how terrible the servers are going to be at launch. All the people trying to get on, just imagine that. It's going to be worse than GTA Online servers. You're not even going to be able to connect to anything. That's at least what I think will happen. And thank you, Victor. You've mentioned the possibility of the Russian Mafia in Vice City. Any other gangs you think will appear? The cartels will definitely make some appearance in GTA 6. Also, I think that there will probably be a Cuban gang. There probably will be, because there was a very big Cuban presence in both Vice City games. We might see a Haitian gang as well. That's definitely a possibility. Russian Mafia, Cuban gang, Haitian gang, cartels. Trying to think of what else. Oh, bikers. Angels of Death, possibly. Angels of Death have a chapter in every single state, and they do have a chapter in Vice City. So we're gonna apparently might see the Angels of Death up here again. Haven't seen them since GTA 4, but which faction would I be in Bully? You mean if I could choose to play as one of the factions, which faction would I choose? I would probably choose the Greasers. That's probably the faction that I like the most. Got back from my flight to Paris just for lunch. Got back from my flight to Paris just for lunch? Oh, well, you're, Oh, okay. Well, I hope that you have had a good flight then, Power Noodles. Thank you, man, for the super chat. You're traveling to Paris? If I'm understanding that? GTA 6 might get delayed. That's why Rockstar said 2025, because they have that time frame to release. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs, thank you. Let's just pray GTA 6 doesn't get delayed. It probably is going to. And General's alert, where were you during flight 1549 / you mean crash landing? Thank you, General's alert. Let me look up that flight specifically. Oh, this one. This, I remember this one. I just didn't remember the flight name, but I remember this. This is the one where the guy, the captain actually landed in the Hudson. That I know about, yes. I don't remember where I was when that happened, but I remember everyone was talking about it at that time. I was in high school in New York at that time. But yeah, that is a, that, I remember that it was like ducks or goose. I think it was it geese? I think that's what it was. There was like, or maybe it was pigeons, but there was some kind of bird that got stuck in the engines. They flew into both engines. Both the engines basically shut down, and he glided the plane into the water, and he got everyone out safely. I do remember when that happened. Trailer 2 before 2024 fall. We will definitely get a second trailer. And in 2024, you will probably get like 3 trailers for GTA 6, probably. That's probably what will happen. Have you seen Elon Musk saying he couldn't play GTA 5 because he had to kill cops? Yes, I heard about that. And I'm gonna make a video about that, and specifically all the stupid people that keep trying to cancel GTA 6. I will do a video giving my thoughts on that. Oh, you made a super chat, Mr. Waifu? I'm sorry. Let me see. I'm sorry if I missed it. Oh, I apologize, Mr. Waifu. I'm sorry. Bully and Dead Rising 1 saved my damn life, to be honest. I really need to play games that I've never completed or played through before. I'm having a lot of fun playing Bully. I can't believe that I missed Bully. I never played Bully. I know that it was a big game back in the day, but I never got around to playing it. But I am grateful that I played it, and I'm having a lot of fun. And Bully seems to be my most popular playthrough in years. Like, out of all the playthroughs that I've done in years, Bully seems to be my most popular one so far. And Dead Rising 1 is a great game also. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know the story in Dead Rising 1, but it is still a really good one, too. Thank you, Mr. Waifu. Now that we've seen the trailer, do you have any plans on doing a top 5 or 10 things GTA 6 should and shouldn't do? Yeah. But I think I might wait for a little bit more, I think we would have to wait a little bit more for more information to do that. The Angels of Death won't be in Vice City. They didn't do them any justice in GTA 5. Well, in GTA 5 we didn't see them, but there might be because I think Rockstars wanted to make one biker gang, but we're gonna see them probably in Vice City. Thank you, Feline. Also, Angel of Death should have been the biker enemies in GTA 5, and Johnny shouldn't have come back. Oh, I agree with you, Mr. Knower. I agree with you, yeah. Thank you for the super chat. Adam's chainsaw is a harbinger of death. Yes, when I first saw Adam, I remember that kind of creeped me out. I didn't know what was wrong with him the first time that I saw him when I was a kid and I played that game and I met Adam the Clown. Oh man, that's the, yeah. I think Adam the Clown still wins. The scariest Dead Rising psychopath, I think, would probably be Adam the Clown. Yeah, it is snowing in the game. Do you think that the game is worth $2 billion? Where are you getting that number from? Do I think it was worth to ban in Red Dead Online? No. I think that Rockstar could have put effort into Red Dead Online, too. Gabriel who in the GTA 6 trailer? I really hope that tone in GTA 6 is going to be more serious like the older games and less goofy than GTA 5. Also, I missed the gore from the older games. I agree with you. I agree with you, Nicholas. I want to see them more focused in the dark criminal, underworld. I don't want to see I don't want to see, you know, be a crazy action story. It's certainly nothing like Saints Row 2. Yeah, I've already seen snow this year, too. The development cost for the game was $2 billion. $2 billion for GTA 6. I think that GTA 6 is easily going to be able to beat that amount that they put into that. Yeah, definitely. Why is Pearl Harbor 2001 so hated? That's a good question, Isaiah. The reason the Pearl Harbor movie, a lot of people didn't like the Pearl Harbor movie, is because Pearl Harbor made the issue that it focused way too much on romance and not enough on the Pearl Harbor attack. That was the issue of Pearl Harbor. That's what people like a lot of these movie directors, they just want to throw in, like, you know, romance dramas because they think that's going to appeal to a larger audience, but a lot of times it pisses people off. If you want to do a romance drama, that's what the movie should be about, but don't throw in some into a historical setting. That's the problem is, especially when you're covering very important time in American history. But that's basically what it was. Like, if you watch the Pearl Harbor movie, it's like more than half of the movie is basically like two guys arguing over this one girl. That's basically what most of the movie is. It was I remember, what was it, the one guy, he goes to like Great Britain and he volunteers to like fly for the Royal Air Force, and then like supposedly he, you know, died, you know, fighting the Germans. And then what had happened was that guy got with his girlfriend, and then he actually was alive, and he came back, and there was like this massive problem, and then Japan just attacked Pearl Harbor. So that was the thing about the Pearl Harbor movie, is people got pissed at the whole romance drama. What I will say about the Pearl Harbor movie is the attack itself was actually pretty good. Like the attack filming, like the battle itself, that was actually decent. But if they had just not had that romance drama in, and they would have just taken that out, that would have been, I personally think that would have been, you know, better. I never knew Medal of Honor existed as a game. Oh, you've missed out a lot. Medal of Honor series was a great series when I was growing up. Damn. If GTA and Red Dead are the same universe, wouldn't Leonida be across the river from Saint Denis? Technically, I guess, but I'll have a video talking what the Leonida think. Let me ask you guys something. Because Vice City was historically in Florida, so in the older GTA games, whenever they mentioned Vice City, they would always mention Florida as the state that it was in. Do you guys like the new name change? Because they're not calling it Florida anymore. Now it's called the state of Leonida. But Leonida is technically Florida. Do you guys like that name, or do you prefer like the old just Florida? Because I honestly prefer just Florida. I don't like the Leonida name personally. I just don't like it. I liked it when they called it Florida. But I think the reason they changed it from Florida to Leonida is so the game doesn't bring as much controversy. That's probably why. Because it could get sued, possibly, if they call it Florida. But I don't know who would sue them for that, but still. No, it was not Leonida in the old games. It was always Florida. Love the Bully playthrough. Fun fact, Bully was going to be an M-rated game. It was very dark, but had the most changes compared to any Rockstar game. Well, thank you for the super chat, Greatest Within. So wait, Bully is not an M-rated game, it's actually T? Really? I thought that it was M-rated. I guess not then. Thank you, Greatest Within. Thank you for the super chat. If GTA and Red Dead are the same universe, wouldn't Leonida... Oh, I read that one. Yeah, thank you, U20. What is something we are not bringing to GTA 6? Thank you, Rubio, for the super chat. Something that's not coming to GTA 6? Possibly snow weather, because you've seen it in GTA 5 and in... Well, but that was only in North Yankton, though, but... And GTA 4, technically, I just didn't have snow, but, I guess the weather, you wouldn't have, like, Liberty City's weather in, Just mad, I don't agree with your opinion. Wait, what are you mad at, specifically, Laren? Can't stand seeing Liz Torres again since Lucia would be in jail, even though Liz is probably still... I can't imagine her being put in a, I can't imagine her being put in a prison in Vice City. But what I will say about it is, if Lucia is in jail, jail is not prison. Prison is actually worse than jail. Jail is where somebody goes for less than they go to jail for less than a year. Prison, they go to jail. They go to prison for more than a year. Sean Fontano, who plays Franklin, posted cryptic messages on TG. Could it mean Franklin will be in GTA 6? No, I don't think so. I think that people go into that way too much. The thing about that is some of these voice actors for GTA 5, right? They could do the most ridiculous things ever. I'll give you an example. Remember when Michael was, Ned Luke, he was the one who went to Los Angeles, right? I'm trying to remember which GTA voice actor went to Los Angeles for a vacation. I think it was Ned Luke. But, people were, speculating, oh, this is proof that, Ned Luke is going to have another DLC, now. And I was like, how is that proof of anything? He just went to Los Angeles, which is one of the biggest cities in America. It doesn't mean anything with GTA 5. I know Los Angeles is based on Los Angeles, but it doesn't mean anything. It's that's just, but, there's people that just, they speculate on everything. Are the Psychopaths' boss in Dead Rising actually that, or are these unhinged raider-like sociopaths? Because they seem like Manhunter sociopaths. Almost all of the Psychopaths in Dead Rising are not actually psychopaths, even though the game calls them psychopaths. Most of them are not psychopaths. I'm trying to think of what character would be a psychopath in Dead Rising, but Adam the Clown would not be a psychopath, no. Adam the Clown just snapped, basically, during the apocalypse, so Adam's not a psychopath. I'm trying to remember the other psychopaths. Steven, that's the supermarket guy, he's not a psychopath either. He's just, extremely unstable. I'm trying to think. Carlito, I wouldn't say that Carlito was a psychopath. Carlito just became a really cold person after what happened to his people. That was just pretty much it. You got to understand, people who are psychopaths are born psychopaths. They don't become psychopaths. That's what a lot of people don't know, is that people are actually born psychopaths. People become sociopaths, but psychopaths are born. There's a specific part of the brain that controls your conscience. It controls you having empathy for others, and psychopaths are actually born without that, so they just can't feel empathy for others. So that's I'm just trying to think. The other Dead Rising characters, the only now that I think about it, the only psychopath that I could think of that's in Dead Rising 1 is possibly the commander, the Special Forces commander. He's probably the only psychopath that I could think of, because he's just extremely cold-blooded, no conscience whatsoever. He's a bit sadistic too, and he seems to enjoy what he's doing. So he has no sympathy, no empathy for all the survivors that died whatsoever. He's just basically committing mass murder. So I'd say the commander in Dead Rising 1 is probably the only actually psychopath, the final boss in the game. Yeah, Brock, that was it. Commander Brock, I remember that now, yeah.
Let's see justice. Well done. Well, that's what there was, and not a penny more.
Crazy current events of the week. 220-ton Nova Scotia building moved using 700 bars of soap. What? How? What? Well, it's about how he went about it, Jaden. He had no empathy, no conscience whatsoever. You're just mad, Laren? Wait, I'm confused. Oh, and I missed a bunch of super chats. I'm sorry, guys. Is Alec Baldwin bad? I think that Alec Baldwin is a scumbag. Thank you, Blinded Eagle. Hi, in my opinion, Pro, the best LEGO game for you to play is LEGO Marvel 1 on the PS4 or the Batman trilogy on the PS3. Even I started playing LEGO Batman 2 on PS Plus streaming. Also, will you play Spider-Man in 2024? I might, but I would gonna have to start with the original though. But I might. Thank you, Blinded Eagle, for that super chat. Adam watched kids die in the outbreak, and Steven went insane from his normal life as a manager getting ruined, and Cletus is ultra distrustful. Yeah, I would say that Cletus probably before the apocalypse was probably like a survivalist. That's probably what it was, and so he's just extremely he's extremely untrustworthy with everyone.
What you doing this for?
Why isn't Rockstar's pay music artists to make parodies of their songs for the radio stations in GTA? I don't know about parodies. You know, it's a lot easier just to do the actual song in the game. Let's go to my Moonshine Shack. But the way that I see it, guys, in my personal opinion, the way that I see it. Oh, tall trees is always beautiful when it's snowing. The way that I personally see it. If there is a song in a game, like if there's a song on the radio in GTA, and you're playing GTA, you should not get copyright claim for it. That's just my personal viewpoint on it, because it's in the game, you bought the game, you paid $60 for the game, and you're playing the game, the song is on the radio station or whatever, it's part of the game that you paid for $60 for. So you pay for the game, and the music is in there. I can understand trying to copyright claim somebody if they are, like, uploading, like, full songs, if they're uploading full songs and trying to make money off of it, okay, go ahead. But the song is just in the game, like on the radio, I don't think that you should get copyright claim for that. I think that that's just personally stupid. Dead Rising 2 Sheriff? Oh yeah, the Sheriff was a madman. Yeah, he was bad. He was definitely a really bad guy. Thank you, Silver Fox and Mr. Waifu and Blinded Eagle. Oh, and Trevor Jacobs got a drumroll 6 months joke. Oh, Trevor Jacobs. Oh, okay, this guy. I was a bit confused with who you were talking about, but this guy, it's the idiot who crashed the plane. Yeah. I hope GTA 6 releases in April like GTA 4. Yeah, that might be a possibility. I don't know why people think that it's gonna be fall 2025. 2025 can really mean anything. It could even mean, you know, springtime. No, I can tell you though that GTA 6 is not going to come out in January and February. That's just typically bad months to release a video game. So it's not gonna come out in those months. It's either gonna come out spring, summer, or fall. That's when it's gonna come out. I can't imagine it coming out in the winter time. So it's either spring, summer, or fall. That's when it's gonna come out. Leon Bell and Randy make me so angry, honestly. I'm trying to think. Leon Bell, I remember the guy. He's that crazy guy on the motorcycle with the chainsaw that Chuck fights. He's from Terror's Reality. Randy. I'm trying to remember who Randy is in Dead Rising. Randy. Let me just Google it. Randy in Dead Rising. Let's see. Oh, that guy. That creep. I remember him, too. Yeah, I see a picture. I remember that guy. Yep. That guy's a massive creep. Does anyone need to sell anything? My Bully 2 idea would be like GTA 4 where he plays a foreign exchange student. whose cousin got you into Bulworth, but you have to go to class and deal with your cousin's antics like Roman and Nico. Well, I think it would probably be better if you had like basically caretakers. You know when like foreign exchange students are that basically is a lot of times the student, one student might go to another student's country and his parents will take care of him, and then that other person's parents will take care of the foreign exchange student. That's what I think might happen, where you're a foreign exchange student, but maybe you'll have like these American guardians. That's what it might be. But question is, where would the foreign exchange student be from? That's what I will, what country, what should they be from, but... You consider Gary a psychopath or a sociopath? I thought that Gary was a sociopath at first, but he's a psychopath. The scary thing about Gary is that when Gary gets older, he's gonna be like a serial killer. That's basically the scary thing about him. Also, I really want to see you cosplay as Frank West and Chuck Green. If you do Dead Rising 1 again and Dead Rising 2 off the record, it'd be an S-tier cosplay. Thank you, Mr. Waifu. I'm definitely going to play those games again. I love the Dead Rising games. I did really enjoy them. Imagine you did a top 5 video of those honorable things Kane and Lynch ever did. That would be the shortest top 5 ever, yep. I could probably do a video top 10 worst things that Kane and Lynch have ever done. I'm trying to think what will be the worst thing that Kane and Lynch have done. I would say probably maybe the bank. Would it be the bank robbery? Because so many hostages died in that. Kane and Lynch did some really messed up things. Trick question: which psychopath bosses in Dead Rising games do you think are just entitled lunatics and Raider Manhunter sociopaths? Entitled lunatics? It would be more like that crazy woman in Dead Rising 3 that just likes to eat a lot. That's a perfect example of that. More the Raider Manhunter sociopaths. Maybe like those guys in Dead Rising 3, the bikers. If you remember them in Dead Rising 3. Yeah, those guys were pretty crazy. No doubt clickbaiters will be more annoying than ever now. It's ridiculous they don't get copyright claim. Thank you, U20, for the super chat. And here's the thing. I've talked to a few other YouTubers that reacted to the exact same trailer as me, but they didn't get copyright claimed. And I didn't check whether my copyright claim was an automatic claim like a bot, or if it was manual. But the thing about this is, I first got a copyright claim from Take-Two Interactive. I disputed it, and I won the copyright claim. And then what happened was 2 hours later, I got a second copyright claim. So nothing came up, and then 2 hours later, it got copyright claimed. And so a few other YouTubers I talked to, or smaller YouTubers, they didn't get copyright claim for that. So I'm suspecting that UMG just targeted me because my my reaction was getting really popular. Thank you, U20. Thank you, Mr. Waifu. Lynch shooting up the hostages was horrifying, not gonna lie. Yep. And that's why I always say, Kane and Lynch has always been a darker game than GTA. What do I think is wrong with Amber Heard? I think that what probably happened is she was probably pissed off at Johnny for some reasons. And then so she decided to just make up all these allegations against him. At least that's what I thought. Thank you, the guy. Thank you for the super chat. Now we need a top 10 worst things Rockstar's ever done. Red Dead fans look away at number 1 because we unanimously can agree on what it is. Well, the thing about that is I actually did a poll a few months ago. I listed off a bunch of things. I asked people what's the worst thing Rockstar ever did, and abandoning Red Dead Online was actually voted as number 1. Dead Rising 1 says a lot about human nature when faced with life-threatening situation. A chain of command in a way for every man for himself versus order. You agree? Well, oh, my posse's disbanded? Wait, like, read. Why is the hang on. I'm gonna start with the posse again. if there was an apocalypse, I'm gonna tell you guys something. If there was an apocalyptic situation, people would all be out for themselves. I'm not saying that like people would be like, you know, that everyone would be out there robbing and killing people, though that might happen if there was an apocalyptic situation. It still would happen to a degree, but the main thing is that if you had an apocalyptic situation, you know what you would see? You would see a huge amount of selfishness. A lot of people that say that they are not selfish would probably be extremely selfish during like an uncaring. That's what I would say during an apocalypse. And I'll give you a perfect example of how uncaring people are during like, you know, in a panic situation. So I don't know if anybody's ever been in a building that had a fire before. I've been in a building that was in a fire. Well, technically, I guess it was a fire. What basically happened a few years ago, this is when I was still in college. I remember I was in a Italian history class. There was a class that I took specifically on Italian history. And when I was in that class, there was what ended up happening was the basement to the building. They had some kind of generator, some kind of something down there. It was some kind of generator turbine, whatever the hell it was. And it malfunctioned and caught on fire. And what ended up happening is the smoke just went upstairs, so it was big. So, like, the basement got on fire, the smoke went upstairs. We were on the 3rd floor, and the smoke just went all the way up the stairs into the hallways and everything like that. And what ended up happening was the fire alarm rang, and at first people thought that it was like a drill. But then what ended up happening is when one guy actually opened up the door from the staircase, the smoke actually came up into the hallway. And the second that everybody saw that smoke, people started screaming. Like, people were just screaming. People were just running all over the place, bumping into each other. It was not like, you know when you go to school, you train so much for, like, what to do if there's, like, a fire, that you're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to walk out in an orderly manner. You're not supposed to bump into each other. You're not supposed to run out. That is not what anybody else did. They did not move out quickly. Everybody was bumping into each other. Everybody was screaming, running out. That's it. If you want to know what I did during the thing, I wasn't screaming or anything. I just sped walk out. So I wasn't like sprinting. I was kind of more like jogging out. I just sped walk out because I was watching my surroundings too. I was watching exactly what was happening. But that's basically it. But I saw so many people, they were just panicking, screaming, and it was not like the thing that you train at all. And that tells me that if something bad, really bad was to happen, some kind of apocalyptic situation, people really would not stop to help anybody or to care about anybody at all. They would just be primarily looking out for themselves. And I guess in a way it is human instinct because people care more about their survivability. But to a degree, it's like, you know, you're not even going to look out to see if anybody tripped, if anybody needs help. You're just, all just going to scream and just run and just panic. That's just, that's just for me. That's one of the things I was actually looking for when I was actually speed walking out to see if anybody needed help. But it was, but my floor did not catch fire. Not even the first floor caught fire. So it was only the basement, and the smoke was just going up through the building. So we exited quickly and got out. But that was about it. But that just basically tells me that if there was like some kind of emergency, people would just be absolutely panicking, and they would not be looking out to see if anybody's hurt or needs help. They would just be all running away. Let me see here. Yeah, but that's basically to answer your question, if there was, like, a human nature and, like, if there was, like, an apocalyptic situation, if everybody's out for themselves. Hope I answered your question, Blade. Thank you, Incredible Gamer, for the super chat also. Planning to buy PS5 Slim for GTA 6, 2025. Yeah, and I really hope it doesn't come out on on PS4. What part of the world map you have trouble remembering again? Because I'm pretty sure you'll ace geography class without any help. Is it Oceania? Yes. So here's the thing. I know geography, like, really, really well. Really, really good. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I know it really well. Like, countries, their locations, what they looked like. I even remember a lot of their flags. So even if I just countries' flags, I could probably tell you dozens of countries what flag that is. But the thing about that is, North America and South America is the easiest one. It's so easy because there's not that many countries in North and South America. Europe, I can do all of Europe. All of Europe, I can get every single country right. If I had to pick every single country, I could get it all right. And I wouldn't even need a list of the names. I could just write it on my own, what was in there. Asia, I can do, no problem too. Africa, I can do for the most part. It's just some of those really small countries in Africa might be a little hard, like the ones that are on the coast, like the really tiny ones. Those might be a little harder to do. But the hardest part of geography for me, it's not even Africa. The hardest part of geography, naming countries, would be Oceania, like those small islands above, like Australia. You have like Fiji, Micronesia, Polynesia, the Marshall Islands. All of those, those are usually typically the hardest to, because it's like a bunch of islands. The countries look so similar to each other. Because the easy thing about geography is you just remember the country's shape. When you look at a map, you just remember what the country was shaped like, and it's very easy to identify it, because each country has almost always its own unique shape. But when it comes to Oceania, there's like all these small little tiny islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's just so hard trying to remember exactly what country is which. That's always the part of geography that was always hard for me, was Oceania, just figuring out all those small little islands and what they were exactly. Thank you, Patrick.
The frozen didn't appear. There's ice everywhere. We're trapped. Frozen solid. I'm going crazy. I hate it. Well, as soon as this melts, I ain't sticking around.
I missed your super chat. I'm sorry, London. Let me see here.
All the way to Valentine. But I need you to get me that boat.
You can play as the sociopath biker leader in a DLC in Dead Rising 3. The DLC ends with the biker sociopath killing the previous leaders. Oh. Yeah, I never actually did the DLCs in Dead Rising 3.
Damn it.
Loving your bully series. Great cosplay. Thank you, Tyler. Thanks, man. Do you know what the Samoan flags looks like? No, I don't. The thing about flags is flags are actually a bit harder for me to actually draw them and name them myself. If I had just like an entire, table of just like hundreds of flags, right? I could just name you most of those countries based on their flag. Trying to actually create the flags would be a little harder. Most of the European countries, I could tell you what their flags look like. Most of the African countries, probably not in that regard. That will probably be a little bit harder to do. I remember a bunch of the African flags, though. I do remember that what was it, Angola? Angola, I think, has the red and black flag and like that gold symbol in the middle. Mozambique was the flag that has the AK-47 in it, or I'm trying to remember if it still does. But that has to be one of the craziest flags ever, having a flag that has an AK-47 in it. It was Mozambique. That was that flag specifically. And oh, I remember Chad. The flag of Chad, it's that African country. Chad is like yellow. It's yellow, blue, and I remember the third color in it, but it's almost identical to the Romanian flag. Very similar to the Romanian flag. Yeah, Mozambique. So Mozambique has the AK-47. I love everything you're doing, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Orion. Thanks, man. Angola has the machete in it. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Orion. Have you ever plan to see Die Hard in theaters? They're still making those movies. I know that the original Die Hard is on YouTube now. I think it's free to watch with ads. I should watch it. I saw that movie a long time ago when I was a kid. Papua New Guinea. That is the flag. That country. It's in Southeast Asia. It is right above Australia. It borders Indonesia, if I remember that one correctly. Will I 100% Canem edit? Wait, what? What's that, Upland Boys? Thank you. And thank you, General's Alert. Didn't Libya's flag used to be completely green? Yes, it was. During Gaddafi's reign, Libya's flag was completely green. It was a solid green. You were right on that. Libya's flag is different now. The original is back in theaters. Oh, it is. Waifu Stan's flag would be orange with a fleur-de-lis for Saints Row 2, BR-55 battle rifles for Halo, and white stripes sandwiching the emblem. What? Oh, thank you, Mr. Waifu, for the super chat. I know it's a joke, but, You think Gary is similar to Micah Bell? In a way, yeah. What is the history of the Yugoslavian War? Yugoslavia. Well, Yugoslavia doesn't have a war, it has wars. There's just so many wars with Yugoslavia. But basically, the reason that Yugoslavia had so many wars was because Joseph Broz Tito, he was the dictator of Yugoslavia. And he held Yugoslavia with a tight grip. But when Tito died, he didn't really have a successor. And what ended up happening is a lot of these nationalistic movements popped up. And these nationalistic movements, they started fighting each other. And everybody wanted their own independent country, and some other countries invaded each other. And that was basically what had happened with Yugoslavia. There's a few of the Yugoslavian wars, there's a bunch of them. And there's, the Yugoslavian wars were very brutal, though. They was very brutal. There's a lot of mass killings in those wars. Which country was Nico fighting in? Bosnia. Nico was in the Serbian army. Or the Yugoslavian army, technically. Because it was, the thing about this is, it was called the Yugoslavian army, but it was mostly the Serbian army, when the Yugoslavian wars were going on. So it was, even though it was called Yugoslavian army, that was an actual faction in the war, it was mostly Serbian. What do you think about Kobe Bryant, the basketball player? Isn't Kobe Bryant the basketball player that died in a helicopter crash? Thank you, Taupe, for the super chat. I don't know much about him. I don't follow sports much, but it was very sad what had happened. I do remember when that happened. Oh, Canem edit is bully in EU, so 100%? Oh, you mean, will I get bully 100%? Yes, I will do it. Your first playthrough of Bully was funny when you got jump and be like, what kind of school is this? Especially the staff and the students. Thank you, Sleep Bunch, man. Thanks, man. Okay. I will do SOCOM 3 after the holidays, yes. I played a day before, I feel sick. I'm debating whether I should try that game. I know it's gonna suck, but just so I guess people curious about my reaction to that game. Go to Los Angeles and show real-life locations? I might one day. Did you hear that someone tried to burn down Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home in Atlanta, Georgia? Why isn't it hitting national headlines? I don't know. That's horrible, Tricky Mario. Thank you for the super chat. That's horrible. During the World Wars, was it considered a war crime to attack a hospital ship? It's still considered a war crime, but but yes, it was. You were not allowed to attack hospital ships. Though, what I will say, though, is a lot of times in warfare, a lot of countries have, what they've done is, they've actually smuggled arms on hospital ships, even though you're not supposed to do that. A lot of countries did not care about that. But, do you know what faction in World War II attacked the most amount of hospital ships? Japan. Japan was the one who attacked the most amount of hospital ships. So whenever Japan saw any kind of hospital ship, they would attack it. They would bomb it. They didn't care. Okay, okay, hang on 1 second. Let's do a, okay. Yeah, okay, my thing was muted. Okay, what I was trying to say is, I'm gonna do a little geography game here in Europe. Uh, because I told you guys geography is my favorite one. Latvia, this one's easy. This one's Latvia. Montenegro here. Oh no, that one wasn't it. It was, this one. Denmark, Russia, Netherlands. Netherlands is this one. Monaco. This one's gonna be a little hard to do. Monaco's extremely tiny. I got it right. Okay. Bosnia, easy. Switzerland, easy. Hungary. Hungary is going to be this one. North Macedonia. No, that one. What am I doing there? Norway. Estonia. Iceland. Ukraine. Okay, Italy. Easy. San Marino. This is one European country. I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. This has to be an extremely tiny country. I guessed it right. Cyprus. Right here. Lithuania, easy. Bulgaria. Bulgaria is going to be this one. Malta. Malta is going to be extremely tiny too. Malta, I think, is this one, right? Yep, Malta. Belarus, Croatia. Croatia is this one. Serbia, right here. Andorra. Got it. Czech Republic. Poland. Greece, easy. Vatican City, easy. Sweden, easy. Portugal. Spain. Slovakia. Slovakia, right here. Luxembourg. That's Liechtenstein. It's like I said, the hardest part about Europe probably would be those little tiny microstates. Trying to find those specifically, that would be the hardest one. Uh, Luxembourg. Yeah, this one might stomp me here. Got it. Ireland, Finland, Albania, Germany, France, Belgium, Kosovo, Moldova is right here. Austria, Liechtenstein, right here. Slovenia, right here. Easy. Romania. Got it. 94%, 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Nice. Okay. Yeah. Not bad. Thank you. Yeah. I wonder if this game is available in the other continents. Is it? It's it's GeoGuessr too. That's kind of. I know people are gonna make memes about that too. I didn't even know. GeoGuessr. Let's do. You guys want to see me do another one? Let's do Asia here. We'll do Asia. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can do Asia really quick then. Okay, let's see here. Asia. Syria. I always pronounce this country's name wrong. Right here. Georgia. Bhutan. Bhutan is going to be that small country bordering China. Right here, yep. Kazakhstan. Indonesia. Jordan. Jordan. North Korea, easy. Russia. Tajikistan. Got it. Israel. Maldives. Got it. Myanmar. Got it. Oman. Got it. Cambodia. Cambodia, right here. East Timor. Okay, East Timor. Right here. Got it. Kyrgyzstan. I pronounce these countries' names wrong. Got it. Uzbekistan here. Iran here. Bangladesh. Bangladesh is pretty easy. Right here. Philippines. Got it. Mongolia. It's easy. Qatar. Qatar, I think, is... Got it. Singapore, Singapore right here. Japan. Have I made any mistakes? No, I haven't. Bahrain. Bahrain, I think it's this one. Got it, right? Yep, Turkey. Yemen, easy. India. Kuwait. Syria. Nepal. Iraq. Afghanistan. Turkmenistan. Laos, this one's Laos. Taiwan. Saudi Arabia. Azerbaijan. Lebanon. Malaysia. Vietnam. South Korea. Thailand. Armenia. United Arab Emirates. China. Brunei. I got, right there. 100%, I did it. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Yeah. So I did better in Asia than I did in Europe. Yeah, but that's what I say is, yeah. That's what I gotta say about that is geography was always my favorite, and I know the countries really well, so I can name those. Hi, Professional, how are you? I'm good, Sam. Here. Also, Pro, dead serious, but Ned Luke said if he hits 100,000 subs, he'll collab with you. I'll send a link to the YouTube video in the Sheep Taco group chat. Oh, okay. Thank you, Blinded Eagle. Thank you, Sam. I'll definitely be, Oceania, I'll fail at. Do you consider Russia an Asian or European country? Both. It's in both continents. But yeah, geography, I've always liked it. When I see a map, I can name everything really well. One thing I would like to see in GTA 6, the only country on that entire thing I didn't know was Brunei. That was the only one on the Asian map I didn't know where it was. One thing I would like to see in GTA 6 Online is not seeing other players on the map. Oh, definitely. I agree with you too. Yeah, U20, thank you for the super chat. What would you do to design history class in Bully? Maybe multiple choice questions. Ask you, different questions about historical events. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, London. The Rising Sun Empire is more brutal than the Nazi Party in World War II. Their infantry were actual savages, mainly because they were treated like one in World War II. The Imperial Japanese were extremely brutal. Very, very brutal. They were, yeah. They were not, the Imperial Japanese Army, wherever they went, they were just terrorized. They would commit horrible atrocities. They treated their prisoners terribly. Let me go on Guesser. GeoGuessr, is there... Oh, hang on a second here. Let's do another one. You guys want to watch another one? Hang on here. Let's see here. Africa. Map games, African countries. Okay, this is gonna be a bit hard. Africa is much harder to do. Liberia, got it. Botswana. Botswana is a bigger country. I know that. It's in the South Africa. Africa is a bit harder to do than Asia. Nope. That's Botswana. Mozambique, I remember. Mozambique, this one's Mozambique. This one's, yep, that one. Okay, South Africa. Mauritius. These are islands. I'm pretty sure these are islands. Nope. Always the tiny islands are, I got it. The tiny islands are always what I mess up on when it comes to geography, the tiny islands, because when I memorize geography, I memorize it through the through country shapes. That's how I remember the countries. But when I see tiny islands, it's always like they're just not that Comoros. Okay. Eswanti. Oh, man. There's 55 countries. Nope. I'm gonna mess up on Eswatini is gonna... Eswatini, I'm sorry. There, that's where it was. Okay, I messed that up. That was... I messed that up on that one. Rwanda. Rwanda is in southern Africa. Remember that one too. No, that's not Rwanda. Rwanda's a very small country. I know that. No. There it is. It's okay. I remember it was a very small country. I haven't done African geography in some time, so forgive me. Mali. Mali is a very large country. Okay. Senegal. No, that's not Senegal. Yeah, I guess this Africa has not been my strong one. I'm not as good at it as I was at Europe and Asia. Yeah, I'm gonna probably mess up on a lot of these. The small African countries, those are always the harder one. But Senegal is a larger country. I know that. I know. I've heard the name Senegal before, so it's a larger country. It is not a small one, though. Damn, I got that. I was so off on that one that yeah. Republic of the Congo. The Congo, that one should be fairly easy to do. The Congo is Central Africa. That's where the Congo is. Got it. Okay, got that one. Somalia is easy. Okay, this is one of the smaller countries too. This one's tough. Nope. Ooh, yeah, these... I'm choosing the ones that I know it's not going to be. Yeah, the small countries. They are always the hard ones to do. Benin. That is one of the smaller countries. I know that. I always remember the larger countries by name. No. Yeah. Terrible. I'm terrible in the small countries. Burundi. Burundi. It's gotta be a small country, too. Oh, I chose those countries before. I give up on Burundi. Oh, there it was. Eritrea, that's easy. Eritrea is actually a brutal dictatorship. It's the most unfree country in Africa. That one's easy to remember. Ivory Coast. A little harder to do that one. It's gonna be Western Africa, Ivory Coast. Damn, I was close. I knew it was Western Africa. Okay, Zambia. Okay, this is Zimbabwe. This one is Namibia. This one's Angola. That one, yeah. Tanzania. Got it. Central African Republic. Got it. Ghana. Got it. I remember Ghana too. Burkina Faso, I remember. Cameroon, I remember. Angola, easy. Okay, this one, No. I was really off, yeah. Sierra Leone. There. South Sudan is easy. Lesotho, I've heard that country's name before. It's a small country. Not this one, no. This is Uganda, this is Kenya, this is, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Yeah, just my luck on this, guys. I feel embarrassed. It says I gotta study my African geography better. I used to be much better at this. I'm not sure where Lesotho might be. I'm probably staring right at it. I feel so dumb right now. I'm just gonna. I know this is wrong. This is Uganda, but I'm just gonna. Oh, it was there. Okay. Equatorial. I remember this one. Equatorial. This is actually one of the most corrupt countries in the world. This country right here. It's extremely corrupt. Very, very corrupt government. Western Sahara. That Western Sahara, I don't think is actually claimed by any country. Sudan, Kenya is easy. Libya, easy. Sao Tome and Principe. That, I think, is an island. That's gotta be an island. Got it. Okay, yeah. It was an island. Chad, right here. This one, easy. Remember that one? Yep, got that one. Easy. These are easy. See, so the large countries are remembered just by heart. No problem. Zimbabwe, Madagascar. Okay, at least this will bring my score somewhat up better. Seychelles. Seychelles, I'm pretty sure are islands. Yep, I was right. Algeria, Malawi, Cape Verde. I think that has to be islands. Yep. Ethiopia, Egypt. Oh, it's that one then. Oh, where? It's gotta be this one then. Yep. Tunisia. Ah, okay, 64%. Okay, I didn't do, I didn't do that great on that one, but, yeah, here. I messed up a little bit on that one here. They got a South America one here. South America, I can do so quickly. This is so easy. Remember was, yep, okay, Bolivia. Peru. Uruguay, is Chile, or Venezuela. Okay, here, this one here. This country, Suriname. This country is to be a very small country. Oh, it's okay, it's that one then. Ecuador, Argentina, Colombia. 100%. Yeah. Easy. South America is very easy. North America's got to be the easiest one. Is there even a North and Central American countries? Let's do this one. Jamaica. Jamaica's in the Caribbean. Oh, this is Puerto Rico. This is this one. Is this Jamaica? Yep, that's Jamaica. Belize. This country is in Central America. That's Panama. That one. Yep. Honduras. Canada, easy. Haiti. Dominican Republic, easy. El Salvador, okay. Panama, easy. Costa Rica, right here. Nicaragua, Mexico. Cuba. Guatemala, right here. United States. Yeah, okay, 100%, 47 seconds. Not bad on that one. And I think it's, Oceania would be the, this is the hardest one. This one, I am gonna mess up this so badly. I'm gonna mess this. This is the hardest geography ever. Is Oceania? It is so hard because there's all the islands. Oh man, I'm gonna mess this up so badly. That is Hawaii up there, but that's oh, I have no chance at this right now. Oh, yeah. See, that's just. Oh, yeah, this. Good luck trying to guess this. This is the That's Fiji. Yeah, New Zealand. Okay, that I can do at least. New Zealand is easy. Australia is easy. Oh. This one's easy. That's Samoa. I should at least know this. Damn, I should have known at least Samoa. I feel embarrassed for that one. Okay, I got it at least. Palu. Yeah. Federated Micronesia. Yeah, those. Like, try and get this done, because this is so hard. What? terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. But yeah, that's just it's just so hard. It's so hard. Is the Oceania is always the hardest thing for geography. It's just too hard. It is too hard. I can't do it. I can't. It's too hard. Okay, let me look here. Maybe arrange the important events in the timeline. Wait, what timeline? I'm sorry if I missed a bunch of comments, guys. You teach better than my world geography teacher. Well, thank you. Thank you also to Fireblade. Thanks, guys. Knowing you, you'll pass the Africa portion of geography and bully. Yep. Oceania is so hard. It is so hard to do geography in that. It's, my god, it's so terribly hard. I read your super chat, Lendon. You were talking about the oh, the infantry in the Rising Sun Empire were treated like if they didn't show anything that wasn't fanatical loyalty to the Rising Sun. Yeah, the Japanese Empire was definitely very brutal. Do Street View GeoGuessr in Europe. Oh man, yeah. I don't know if I could do that. You know what? Let's do a challenge here. Hang on a second here. Let's do Europe one more time here, and is there a thing by flags? Cold War Europe. Oh, they got a Cold War Europe. Oh, this is easy. Cold War Europe, yeah. Italy, Belgium. Belgium's right here. Albania here. Bulgaria here. Luxembourg. Luxembourg before here. Always the tiny countries that are the hardest here. Damn. I'm trying to remember Luxembourg. Where was it? Luxembourg is extremely tiny. Oh, there it is. Norway. Oh, how did I mess that up? It was I moved up too quickly. Austria, easy. Czechoslovakia here. Turkey, Portugal, West Germany, easy. Hungary, Sweden, Denmark, Netherlands, Ireland, Romania, Poland, Iceland, Yugoslavia, Spain, East Germany, France, UK, Finland, Greece, Soviet Union, Switzerland. Nice. We have another one. Do you guys like me doing this stuff? Let's see here. Europe 1914. This should be interesting to do. I know historical maps too. German Empire, France, Norway, Portugal, Denmark, UK, Serbia, Greece, Bulgaria, Spain, Montenegro, Luxembourg, Belgium, Romania. Romania had a very weird shape back then. Ottoman Empire, Russia, Austria, Hungary, Netherlands, Romania, Switzerland, Sweden. Easy. That was easy. Is there... Okay. I think medieval Europe would probably be the hardest one to do. But I'm gonna do one final geography one. This is Europe. I'm gonna see how quickly I can do this. Europe, Ireland, Latvia, Sweden. Damn, I messed up that one. Monaco. Monaco is going to be a tiny country again. No, that's Vatican. Oh, I messed that up. No, this is... How did I mess that up? I feel stupid now. Spain. Estonia, Luxembourg. Now I feel so stupid. It's always this tiny microstates. It's always those countries. Those are always the hardest ones to do. Everything else is not that, because once you memorize the shape of the country, it's really, geography is actually not that hard. It's just memorizing the shapes of them, specifically Slovakia, Ukraine. Bring the score back up from those microstates here that I messed up on. Serbia, Poland, Lithuania, Hungary, Russia, North Macedonia, Bosnia, easy. Slovenia would be this. Kosovo is that. Iceland, there. Cyprus is here. France is that. Vatican City is that. Germany, Portugal, Italy, Belgium, Moldova, Romania, Tajikistan, Belarus, Andorra, there, Albania. Okay, yeah, this is a tiny country again. Yeah, Montenegro, there, Switzerland, there, Croatia, there. Area, Norway, Netherlands. There we go. Okay, yeah, I guess that's enough geography for now. Let's get back to Red Dead, but yeah. What do you mean, blue? You still got my tiny city. Oh, thank you. What do I think of the Modern Warfare 3 campaign? It was a good one, Ryan42. Okay, let's, the character should probably smoke a cigar here. Let's see here, we're... Okay. How did West Germans living in Berlin access the rest of the country during the Cold War? You'd be landlocked from them by East Germany. Planes. It was most of the time planes. Air travel was still protected. So it was that. So East Berliners couldn't get on the plane, and they couldn't just you know, fly out and leave. But West Berliners could. Thank you, Mario, for the super chat. Okay, let's see what we got here. Where are we right now? Not too far from Valentine, actually. Yeah, not really. The thing about that is students sometimes could visit East Berlin, but travel was strict too. Would I rather eat hardtack or baked beans? I don't even know what the first one is. But probably baked beans then. Thank you, U20, for the super chat.
Now, I'm guessing you want to earn some more money, huh?
Smartest gang boss and dumbest gang boss. Dumbest gang boss in Saints Row 1 will probably be Angelo. Smartest gang boss would probably be, Benjamin King.
All right. Okay. Now, can you tell me what's the goddamn point of being a goddamn gunslinger?
I love your Friday night Red Dead Online streams. Thank you.
The Cornwall Company, they knew what it would cost to have me as a friend, and now they got me as a foe. So I need you to head on over there and take out anything that ain't strapped down. Break it all apart. And
Hey,
maybe then
Patrick, what are the top 5 most pointless wars in history?
Get on over there.
Top 5 most pointless wars in history. One of the stupidest wars in history would probably have to be the the football war. The football war was a war that was fought between, I'm trying to remember what countries it was. It was El Salvador, and the other country, I think it was Nicaragua. I think it was El Salvador and Nicaragua. And basically what happened in that war was that there was one football team that was supposed to play in the other country's football team. I'm trying to remember which one. It was Honduras. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Honduras then. One of the football or soccer teams, I should say, because they call it football there. But one of the soccer teams was supposed to play in the other country's match. And what happened was there was protesters that were outside just screaming all night long, and the football soccer team could not sleep. They couldn't sleep, and they were tired and exhausted, and they lost the match the next day. The other country, I'm trying to remember, I think it was Honduras that attacked El Salvador. I could be wrong, though. I think, was it Honduras, or was it... it might just be... I'm getting it around, but they got pissed off, and basically they sent fighter jets into the other country over that war. There was other things, there was other beef that was going on between the two countries, besides just the soccer match, but the soccer match was pretty much, what sparked it at the end. Well, the thing about that is a pointless war is really a war in which both sides are just fighting for stupid reasons. You know, it's just something so completely idiotic. It's just something so dumb. I would say that for example, like World War II, this is the worst war in human history. But in World War II, most people had no choice. You had to fight. Because if you didn't fight, the Nazis were just going to come in and they were going to conquer everything and they were just going to mass murder everyone. So that was, so World War II, you had to defend yourselves. World War II was mostly a war of defense. That's pretty much was for the Allies. The Nazis were, the Axis were trying to take over Europe and Asia. So it was a war of countries defending themselves from and trying to stop fascism. But I would say that World War I is probably the stupidest war in human history. It is the dumbest conflict ever. World War I. It was such a stupid, dumb war that to this day, people don't even know what started it. That's how stupid that war is. That to this day, people still don't even know why World War I happened. And basically, if you take 100 historians, like 100 people that read history for a living and write history, if you take 100 historians and you put them in a room and you ask them, how did World War II start? All 100 historians will tell you it's because Hitler invaded Poland. All 100 will tell you that. That's how World War II started. If you ask 100 historians what started World War I, I guarantee you there's going to be a massive argument. Those 100 historians are not going to agree on what started it. It's not... The Austrian-Hungarian guy that you're actually thinking of is Franz Duke Ferdinand, who was the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. But what I'll tell you about it is that if Franz Duke Ferdinand did not die, that war still would have started. It would have started over something else. There would have been something else that would have started that war. And what I'll tell you about Franz Duke Ferdinand is... Franz Duke Ferdinand was a scumbag. The guy who got assassinated, he was a massive scumbag. He was a terrible human being. That's what a lot of people don't know, that is that they think that the guy who died was innocent. But no, he was a terrible person. If you want to know why Franz Duke Ferdinand was a terrible person, it's because Franz Duke Ferdinand, if he had actually become Emperor of Austria-Hungary, he would have brought down Austria-Hungary really quickly. That entire empire would have collapsed really quickly if he was the emperor. Austria-Hungary, ironically, did collapse because of the war. But if he was the emperor, if he was running things, it would have collapsed even faster. The reason that Ferdinand was such a scumbag was because Ferdinand was a massive racist. He was a German supremacist. Ferdinand basically believed that if you were in Austria-Hungary, if you were not a German, you were inferior. The Austrians, they are a German people, and so he wanted he wanted everyone in Austria-Hungary to speak German, which that was the main language in Austria. And so he thought that if you were not a German-speaking Austrian, that you were basically inferior. And here's the really messed up thing about this, is Austria-Hungary, it was supposed to be a union between two countries, Austria and Hungary. Though Ferdinand got really angry that Hungary had so much power in the government, even though it was supposed to be a fair union between the two of them, and he was extremely racist towards Hungarian people. The really messed up thing about it is that Franz Duke Ferdinand was protected by Hungarian bodyguards, so Hungarian soldiers would protect him, and he would tell them that he demands they speak German. He was getting all pissed off that they spoke in their language. So these were the guys who were supposed to protect your life, and you're going to be complaining to them that they're not speaking your language. They're, like, in charge of protecting you. So that's what I say is, if Franz Duke Ferdinand, like, Austria-Hungary, even though it was an empire, was a much more tolerant empire, where Austria-Hungary did not discriminate and did not treat the people in its empires like garbage. Like, a lot of other empires back then, when they conquered people, they typically would force their religion, or they would force their cultural identity on the people that they had conquered. The Austro-Hungarians, while they conquered people, they didn't really do stuff like that. Like, for example, the Austrian part of occupied Poland was the best part to live in before World War I. Out of all the occupied parts of Poland, the Austrian part of Poland was better to live in than German Poland, or better to live in than Russian Poland, which Russian Poland was the worst part of Poland to live in. But the Austrian Hungarians, they didn't go after Polish people for speaking Polish in their lands. And the Austrian-Hungarian anthem was also in Polish, so that was actually one of the... Austria-Hungary had like 16 recognized languages in its empire. They had German, Hungarian, Polish, Czech, Slovenian, I think Croatian. I'm trying to remember. There was a bunch of different languages that they had recognized. Bosnian, there was Serbian. There was so many languages that the empire had recognized. When back then, all those empires did not recognize any other language except their own language, their main language. So that's what I'll say, is if Ferdinand had taken over and had been emperor, he would have treated all the minorities in Austria-Hungary like garbage, and it would have started massive rebellions. Like, if you look at it, for example, both Germany and Russia had rebellions in occupied Poland. This is before World War I. And that's because the Germans and the Russians treated the Polish like garbage. And so the Polish got pissed off and they did uprisings against them. But the Austrians didn't really treat Polish people that badly, and that's why there wasn't that many uprisings in Austria-Hungary. See here. Can you explain what happened to Elder Scrolls 6? I hope Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, because I want to see an Elder Scrolls 6. I'm tired of waiting for that. That is one game that I want to come out as soon as possible. Let me see here. Yeah, the GTA 4 petition is still going, but I don't think it's going to come out, though, unfortunately. World War II would likely have never happened if World War I hadn't happened. Probably, yeah. You're probably right on that, U20. Yeah. World War I, what I would say about World War I is World War I basically caused the conditions that caused Hitler to come to power. That's what was from World War I would say. The thing about it is that... let me see here. Sam, what's your favorite Assassin's Creed games? My favorite Assassin's Creed game of all time would have to probably be Assassin's Creed Rogue. Because I just like the story different. I like the option of playing as a Templar. My second favorite one would probably have to be Assassin's Creed 1. I just always like that setting. But to answer your question, U20, the Allies kicking out the Kaiser out of Germany, that was one of the worst things that they possibly could have done. That was one of the dumbest things they could have done. Because here's what I'll tell you about the Kaiser. Kaiser Wilhelm was a scumbag. He wasn't a good man. He was a bad man. But there's a massive difference. Because Hitler was evil. Wilhelm was a bad man. There's a difference. People think that it's the same thing, bad and evil. It's not. Wilhelm was a bad guy, sure. But he wasn't evil. Hitler was evil. And so if Wilhelm was in charge of Germany, after World War I, he would have never let Hitler come to power. And I know that for a fact because Wilhelm absolutely despised Hitler. Like, if you read about what Wilhelm wrote about Hitler, like, in his memoirs, what he said about him specifically, he hated Hitler. He despised Hitler. So it was, if Wilhelm was in charge, Hitler would have never come to power. He would have never allowed that to happen. He would have removed him as prime minister. Even if Hitler got elected, if Wilhelm was still the monarch, he would have removed him as prime minister. So that was one of the dumbest things the Allies did, is when they literally removed Wilhelm, because Wilhelm was that one thing that would have stopped Hitler from coming to power. So Wilhelm probably should have stayed as monarch of Germany. That was a dumb thing that they did, kicking him out. They should not have done that. Then Hitler gets spared by a British private. He did. That basically what happened during World War I is Hitler was a corporal, and Hitler was basically just standing in no man's land. Like, he was kind of like zoning out, just complete blank stare. And there was a British soldier that basically saw Hitler and aimed his rifle at him. And Hitler did not have a gun at the time. He was just standing there, and he was just staring at the British soldier. And the British soldier decided not to shoot him. And the British soldier didn't shoot him because he didn't have a gun, and he wasn't a threat to him at that time. But a lot of people blame that guy. But here's the thing about that, is how is that British guy supposed to know that this guy was going to turn into, like, a genocidal maniac, like, 20 years later? You know, nobody could know something like that. So it was, when he shot Hitler, it was just an unarmed soldier that was just staring at him. That's it. So, if he shot him, they would have been shooting somebody that was unarmed. So you can't really blame the guy for that. I don't know why so many people blame him for that. I mean, he didn't even know who Hitler was. He just saw a random German soldier that was completely unarmed and decided not to shoot him. So it's not it's not that guy's fault. I can't imagine how that guy, like, feels. How that guy felt afterwards. He survived. That guy survived up until World War II, by the way. But I can't imagine how that guy felt after that. That must have been just an absolutely horrible, gut-wrenching feeling. Because imagine, like, the one guy you didn't kill turned out to kill millions of people. That would have been just horrible. But it's not. I wouldn't say that it's his fault. I don't blame him, because you can't know something like that. You don't know whether somebody's gonna be a mass murderer. You don't know that. So it's not his fault. The Kaiser and Hitler are ultimate differences between a sociopath and a psychopath. Yeah, I would say that too, Bunny. Thank you for the super chat. And thank you, Greatest Within, for that super chat. I may be wrong, but Germany didn't take over Switzerland in World War II. I remember seeing a map where they were neutral. Yes, but here's another thing about Switzerland. Switzerland was a very well-armed society. Switzerland, there's two main reasons that countries have not historically invaded Switzerland. Switzerland, I don't think, has been invaded for, like, since the Napoleonic Wars. The Napoleonic Wars has been the last time that Switzerland got invaded, so it's been like 200-something years. The reason that Switzerland doesn't get invaded is for two reasons. It's not their neutrality. It's not that. A lot of people think it's their neutrality. There's two reasons that Switzerland doesn't get invaded. The first reason is that Switzerland is a very mountainous country. Any country that tries to invade Switzerland is going to have to go through those mountains, and the Swiss are going to be prepared for that. And it's going to be a logistical nightmare trying to get everything through the mountains. So the terrain for Switzerland is... Switzerland's terrain protects them. The mountains protect them. The second reason that Switzerland is not invaded is because Switzerland is a very armed society. Switzerland has a militia. They don't have a military, they technically have a militia. And Switzerland could organize an army of 250,000 people in, like, 1 or 2 days. So, like, people in Switzerland has mandatory militia service. You have to be in the militia, and they train people. They keep their rifles at home, and so there was like a German general that I remember threatened Switzerland. I'm trying to remember whether it was World War I or World War II, and said, like, what's to stop us from invading and taking over your country? And the Swiss guy said, we just won't miss. That's what it was. That's what he said, I think. So it was something like that. Okay, well, Blue, I'll do a mission in a little bit. I'm just talking a little bit here, so I'm sorry if that. But look, I will give you guys, an example of something. Remember how, how I said that British guy, he wasn't at fault? Because you don't know. Like, at that time, he was just, like, an unarmed German soldier, and, like, how was he supposed to know that he didn't want to shoot an unarmed man, that this person was going to turn into, a mass murderer. You don't know stuff like that. But, what I will say is, I remember there was this case that I read about a long time ago, and this case is tragic. It's a really sad story. And, what basically happened is, let me know what you guys think of this situation. I don't remember what state this happened in, but all I remember is what happened in the story. this guy was a criminal, a gangster, some kind of gangster, and the police were after him. I don't remember the reason that they were after him, so I'm sorry for that. That's the only thing I don't remember in the story. But basically, the police surround the guy. They tell the guy to drop his gun. The guy refuses, talks crap to the police, reaches for his gun. The police basically light the guy up. Like, all the cops, like a bunch of cops, all shoot him at once. They shot the guy like 20 or so times. A bunch of times the guy got shot. What happens is, the same guy that was acting like such a tough guy before, like just talking crap to the police, acting like such a tough guy, when he got shot up that much, he was still alive. And he was like, I don't know how he survived. I guess he got lucky on where he got shot. But basically, he was begging the police to save his life. So the same guy who was talking crap to the police, drew a gun on the police, got shot like 20 times, was begging the police to save his life. Paramedic comes in, and the paramedic stops the bleeding. Temporarily, at least, until he's getting to a hospital. That paramedic kept that guy alive until the guy got to the hospital. Guy gets to the hospital, survives, getting shot like 20 or so times. Then the guy gets sent to prison. The guy serves his prison sentence years and years later. The guy gets out of prison. Now, you would think that somebody like that would change their life around. You know, somebody like that they were a bad person, they did horrible things, they drew on the cops, they got shot like 20 or something times. Like, you know, you'd think that somebody like that, after having such a horrible experience, like a near-death experience like that, you'd think that somebody like that would find God or something else, or they would completely change and they would be a different person and actually change their life around. But nope, he didn't change his life around. The guy was still an absolute terrible human being, an absolute garbage of a person. And that same guy, years later, after he got out of prison, he robbed some poor girl and shot her in the head and killed her. And what ended up happening is that paramedic who saved the guy's life went insane. He actually went insane from that because he felt so much guilt over that, because he saved that guy's life, and then that guy ended up going and killing this poor girl later. And the guy blamed himself for it, that they had to put the paramedic in an insane asylum because he was just so ridden with guilt, and they had to put him on suicide watch because of that. And basically, my thoughts on that whole situation, I don't blame the paramedic at all. It's not the paramedic's fault. Because the paramedic, his job is to save people, regardless. If the person is a horrible person or a good person, your job as a paramedic is still to save people. It doesn't matter if the person's a good person or a bad person. That's his job. He's supposed to save people. And he did his job correctly. He saved the guy's life. It's that guy's fault in the end, because that guy sat in prison. That guy should not have been released from prison. I don't know what was wrong that the courts decided to release him after a number of years. He shouldn't have gotten out of prison so soon. But that guy ultimately is responsible for his own actions, because that's the guy who decided to go and, you know, take a gun and shoot some girl in the head. I don't blame the paramedic for that. I don't think that it's the paramedic's fault, but he was ridden with so much guilt, and just, I don't know what ended up happening to the paramedic. I don't know if he's still in an insane asylum or what, but that's not his fault for that whole situation that happened. But it's, like I said, it's a very tragic story, and it's, and that's just it. But that guy, that guy should get the death penalty. That guy. That's what I personally think. Is that's just, such a horrible garbage of a person. And it's like you would think that somebody like that would actually change their life around, after that, and actually try to learn to become a good person, learn to behave like a normal human being. But unfortunately he didn't. And that. But that's just the. I remember that was just such a messed up story. Let me go to camp here. Sounds like something Micah would do. Well, definitely then. Cops should have blocked the paramedic. They can't do something like that. It's just the paramedic is there to save people regardless. Even if the person that just shot and killed somebody, paramedic still has to save them. They still have to. You can't just, it's just their job. That's just what they do. They're there to save people regardless of who it is that they're saving. Let me see here. Is this game dead? Sort of, in a way. It doesn't have as many players playing it anymore, but it still is fun. It's still fun, at least playing with friends and enjoying yourself and having a good time. But what I was saying about going back to your question about the Kaiser Bunny is this is what a lot of times people don't understand is people say that the Kaiser Wilhelm, for example, the last king of Germany, they say that Kaiser Wilhelm was an anti-Semite, and Hitler was obviously an anti-Semite. But what people don't understand about that is that Kaiser Wilhelm was an anti-Semite. He was a racist. He definitely was. But while I'm not defending Kaiser Wilhelm's racism, what I'm saying is there's a big difference between being a racist and being a genocidal maniac. And that's the difference between Kaiser Wilhelm and Hitler. Did Kaiser Wilhelm not like Jewish people? Yes. Was he racist against Jewish people? Yes. Did he want Jewish people mass murdered? No. And that was the difference between the Kaiser and Hitler. And so even though Wilhelm himself was such a racist, is when Wilhelm actually saw what Hitler was doing when it was the Night of the Long Knives, when the Nazis just basically went around burning Jewish stores, killing Jewish people, just stabbing them in the streets. When he saw that, he was disgusted by that. It horrified him. So he was just absolutely disgusted by it, and Kaiser Wilhelm wrote, that was the first time in his life that he was ashamed to be German. First time in his life he was ashamed to be German. So that's what I say is the Kaiser was not a good man, but Hitler was just pure evil. And removing him as monarch of Germany was a big mistake, because if he was not removed as king of Germany, then he would not have never allowed Hitler to come to power. That would have never happened. Well, I'm enjoying Medal of Honor Pacific Assault. It is a fun game. Let me see here. Do you know about the Iraq-Iran War? Yes, that happened in the 1980s. Let me see. I think I know where this guy might be. Oh, great. How bad was the Stasi in East Germany? The Stasi in East Germany was basically North Korea's Europe. That's basically what it was. East Germany was one of the most surveilled states in the world. Do you know that 1 out of 6 people in East Germany was a government informant? 1 out of 6 people. Imagine that. 1 out of 6 people was a government informant. Is anyone disturbed by the amount of anti-Semitism on display since October 7? You should see what's happening at colleges. Thank you, Mario. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think that colleges should tolerate any kind of, racism, discrimination. Thank you, Mario, for the super chat. Oh, I don't remember, Officer Soldierist. I didn't look it up. In war, medics treated patients from both sides. To an extent, yes. But I'll tell you something. There was 2 fronts of World War II where medics were shot. And that was that the power that targeted medics the most was the Japanese. The Japanese specifically looked for medics. So typically, a lot of times medics would not be armed, but medics were actually armed and they did not have their, medic armband in the Pacific, because they knew that they'd be targeted specifically by the Japanese. So they didn't wear armbands. The other part of World War II where medics were targeted was the Eastern Front, where it was Nazi Germany versus the Soviet Union. Both the Nazis and the Soviets, both sides actually targeted each other's medics. On the Western Front, for the most part, the Americans and the Germans did not target each other's medics. But on the Eastern Front, both the Soviets and the Nazis targeted each other's medics. Oh, wait, what am I doing here? Let me find this guy here. I think I know where this guy spawns. But your expression in the copyright video was so funny. Well, thank you, man. I'm surprised that people aren't memeing that video. The video that I made ranting about the copyright, because I started cursing in the video on the copyright because I got so pissed. So, I won't be surprised if somebody turns that into a meme. I know these spawn locations. Okay, he spawns behind the barn. There's another location where he spawns behind these houses over here on the side. Why do you think the Japanese were so brutal and barbaric in World War II? Well, I'm gonna talk about that more in my Medal of Honor Pacific Assault playthrough. But here's what I'll tell you about the Japanese. The Imperial Japanese, they are the toughest, they are the toughest enemy the US has ever fought in its history. Out of all the people that America has ever fought in its history, the Imperial Japanese were the toughest, 100% on that. I would say that it was harder fighting against the Imperial Japanese than it was fighting against the Nazis. That's what I would say about it. And for people asking me, don't you think the Viet Cong were tougher? No. I think that the Imperial Japanese were even tougher than the Viet Cong. And I think that why do I think the Imperial Japanese were tougher than the Viet Cong? The reason is because the Viet Cong want to live. The Imperial Japanese don't care. They only care about victory. That's the difference. The Viet Cong, when they feel threatened, they're gonna run away from an area. But the Imperial Japanese, on the other hand, they're gonna fight till the last man. They're gonna fight till the death. They don't fear death. And that's what I would say is that having an enemy that does not fear death is the scariest thing that you can possibly have. And that's what it was for fighting the Imperial Japanese. The Imperial Japanese were the toughest enemies. If I had to name, like, the top 10 toughest armies the US has ever fought in its history, Imperial Japan will be at the top. Imperial Japanese Navy and Army, I would say the top. The toughest enemy. 100% on that. And the reason that I think the Japanese are tougher than the Nazis, the reason I think that is because the Nazis were more advanced than the Japanese. The Nazis were a lot of times better supplies than the Japanese. But the Nazis were not physically tougher than the Japanese. The Nazis were also extremely brutal. However, though, the difference between the Japanese and the Nazis is that the last year of World War II, 1945, when it was like Germany was just a few months from collapsing, most Germans at that point became extremely delusional with Hitler. Like, when Hitler kept saying throughout the war, he kept saying, oh, you know, victory is right around the corner, Germany is about to be victorious, we will be victorious over all of Europe. Hitler was constantly saying that on the radio, over and over and over again. And Germans, when they saw victory was not coming anywhere, and that the fronts were getting closer and closer, and, you know, their towns and cities started getting bombed, they started getting delusional with Hitler, and a lot of Germans at that point basically just started saying, are we gonna die for this maniac? Are we gonna, are we just gonna all fight till the end? There's no point. We're gonna lose, and we're gonna die for this maniac. So that's where most Germans became delusional with Hitler at that point. They might have been supporters of Hitler at one point, but when they saw just all the destruction of the war coming to Germany, they realized that it was over. And that's why the last few months of World War II, you had massive amounts of people that were surrendering. They were giving up. You had less people surrendering on the Eastern Front, because a lot of Germans feared that if they surrendered on the Eastern Front that the Soviets were gonna kill them. So a lot of Germans were actually running to the Western Front, and they were surrendering to the Americans. So for the most part, when the Americans were going through Germany, like the last few weeks of World War II in Europe, the Germans were just they were surrendering. Most of them were giving up. The Germans who fought till the very end were the SS. The SS, they were the most fanatical to the Nazi regime. The SS, I guess I would compare them to, like, some of the Imperial Japanese, in that they were just so brainwashed, so fanatical to their leader, that they were going to die for their leader. They were going to fight till the very last man, till they had absolutely nothing left. They were just going to keep fighting and sacrifice themselves. So the Nazi SS were the ones who basically fought till the end, but the average German soldier in the Wehrmacht, they were just giving up at the end of the war. They saw there was no point in fighting. They realized that it was over. They were going to lose. They've lost the war. Some Germans even realized they lost the war at Stalingrad at that point. But the Japanese, on the other hand, were very different. In the Japanese culture, they believed that surrender was worse than death. That's what they saw. They saw surrender as the ultimate form of dishonor, and they saw surrender as the most dishonorable is because they believed that surrender was betraying the emperor. It was not fighting for the emperor till the very end, because you're supposed to swear an oath to fight for the emperor, and if you don't fight for the emperor in the end and you swear and you surrender, you have betrayed the emperor. That is basically what it is, and they see the emperor as a god, and that is that's what made the Japanese so dangerous. The thing about this is that Hitler in his table talks, the table talks were actually a group of recordings, of just written recordings, that Hitler's personal secretary, Martin Bormann, would write with his permission. And basically the Hitler table talks were where Hitler would have dinner with other top Nazis and he would discuss, politics and a lot of different other things. And Hitler actually said that he wished that religion in Germany was more like religion in Japan, because he said that the Japanese are just so devoted to their emperor, and he wished that Germans were just as devoted to him as the Japanese were. That's what Hitler wrote in his table talks. And so that's showing you that even Hitler himself knew that not every single German was just fanatically loyal to him, and that pissed Hitler off. But the Japanese, on the other hand, they were just way more fanatically loyal to the emperor than they were even to Hitler, because to the Japanese, they grew up believing that the emperor was a god. They were taught that the emperor was a god. You were supposed to worship him. You were never supposed to dishonor the emperor. You were supposed to fight until the very end. And your enemy was the worst thing ever. That's basically what they believed. Whoever you were fighting was basically a threat to the emperor, and they needed to be absolutely destroyed and just completely wiped out. And so that's what they believed. And the reason the Japanese treated prisoners so badly is because they basically saw them as cowards. That's why the Japanese had treated prisoners so badly. They saw that they didn't want to fight. They gave up, and they basically dishonored themselves. And so the Japanese believed that they had no right to honor them because they had dishonored themselves. So that's how the Japanese saw it, and that's why they treated prisoners of war so badly. But what I will tell you about the Japanese is the Japanese, a lot of times, they were extremely hypocritical, because what happened was Japanese propaganda near the end of World War II, like, for example, Okinawa. When the U.S. invaded Okinawa, Okinawa was part of Japan. It wasn't an empire. It was technically part of mainland Japan, technically. So it was an island that was more to the south of Japan, but it was, technically a Japanese, province. The Okinawans, they have their own separate culture, but this was the closest that the U.S. had ever gotten to mainland Japan. And Japan fought like absolute hell for that island. They were sacrificing women, kids. They were just throwing everything at the U.S. They were just fighting till the very last man. And most of the time, when America would take prisoners, during when they were fighting the Japanese, most of the prisoners that the Americans took were Japanese who were wounded. They weren't even Japanese who surrendered. They were just Japanese who had wounded. If you look at the island campaign, the U.S. actually killed like 90-something% of the Japanese soldiers, like 90-95% of them in battles when they were fighting. Most of the armies. When they fought the Germans, what typically happened when the U.S. fought the Germans, it would be like maybe like 40% of the Germans would die. It was like 40% of all the Germans in a battle would die. Maybe it was like 30 or an extra 30 or 40% would surrender, and then 20% would retreat. That is typically what it was like. But the Pacific Front, on the other hand, was just something completely different. It was where they would just be fighting, and they would just kill almost every single Japanese soldier. And it was at one point the U.S. actually stopped taking Japanese prisoners. And so if the Japanese actually surrendered, a lot of times Americans would just shoot them. And you're probably wondering, why would they shoot prisoners, people who were surrendering? The reason the Americans if the Japanese tried to surrender, the reason Americans shot them is because of a perfect example of what happened at the end of Call of Duty World at War. Do you guys know what happened at the end of Call of Duty World at War in the final American mission? When you have a bunch of Japanese soldiers that try to surrender, and when they tried to surrender, they blew themselves up with grenades. So when the Americans got near them, trying to restrain them, they would basically blow themselves up in suicide bombing. So it was a trick to basically blow themselves up when the Americans got near them, thinking that they would surrender. So that's why Americans a lot of times stopped. If they would just shoot the Japanese if they had surrendered, and they did because they didn't know. That was it. I guess it's kind of messed up when you think about it that a lot of the Americans did shoot Japanese that were surrendering, but at that point they basically didn't know if they were faking a surrender, if they were going to blow themselves up, and so they didn't want to take a risk, and that's why they were doing that at that point. So it was Japan was messed up for doing that they were just faking surrenders to blow themselves up. That was it was just horrible. In war, medics treated patients for both sides. Yes, they did. But I hope that answers your question why the Japanese were so brutal. And thank you, Ryan42, for the super chat. What do you think happened to Hitler? Hitler killed himself. Here's the thing. I'll have a video talking about Hitler, like a history video, like one day. It's gonna be a Sniper Elite video talking about like the real life sniper plan to kill Hitler, because that operation that you see in Sniper Elite 5 to kill Hitler, that's called Operation Foxley. It was like a real life operation to kill Hitler, and I'll talk about Hitler's death in the video. But basically, Hitler killed himself. There's like conspiracies of people thinking, oh, he escaped to Argentina and he died somewhere in the 80s or something like that. No, that is not true. I don't believe that. Hitler killed himself. He didn't want he didn't want the Soviets to find his body, and so he had his men burn his body when after he had shot himself in the head. Here's the thing. Think about. There's a very easy way to disprove the Hitler conspiracy theories that he had somehow survived the war. If Hitler had survived World War II, let's just say theoretically, he survived World War II, right? He fled to Argentina or wherever else. The entire world powers, both the US, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, every single France, every single other country that you can possibly think of that was involved in World War II would create this giant international manhunt, and they would be doing everything in their absolute power to find Hitler, because if Hitler did actually escape Germany, he would have been the most wanted man in history. There's no one who would have had a higher bounty than him. He would have been the absolutely most wanted man ever on this planet if he had somehow escaped Germany. So just think about it that way. That if Hitler had somehow escaped to another country, whatever country decided to hide him, that country would be invaded. All the other countries in the world would invade that country to get Hitler. So no country would want to hold Hitler. No country would offer to hide him. No country. Even Argentina, who was very sympathetic to Nazis, even they wouldn't even hide Hitler. Argentina did hide other Nazis, that's true, but they wouldn't risk hiding Hitler. Because if they risked hiding Hitler, the entire world would have basically just invaded them. So that is so I don't believe it that he had survived, because there would have been an international manhunt. Everybody would have been looking for him. So I think he killed himself. That's basically what. I don't think that he had escaped. Not funny enough. They only want strong swear right. Oh, you're talking when I cursed in my video. Did I ever watch Pearl Harbor Attack during World War II? The movie Pearl Harbor? I did see it, Sam. It wasn't I didn't like that movie. The romance drama was just too much. The battle scenes were kind of cool, but the romance drama wasn't that good. Oh, crap, bear. Pro, it will be really cool if you made a big series of the Yakuza games. The story and gameplay in these games is really good. You'll enjoy it. Oh, thank you, Nicholas. Yeah, I could do that one day. Definitely, I could do that. Thank you, Nicholas Craig. Thank you for the super chat. I would definitely consider doing the Yakuza games one day. I'll definitely consider that. Fear. People have requested Fear for some time, yeah. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Pro, can you make a lore video on why did Michonne steal Morgan's protein bar in The Walking Dead? Oh, man. Yeah, that would, that would be kind of funny. Yeah. If Hitler started listening to his generals in 1942, do you think it would at most bought Germany a few more months by 1945? If Hitler had actually listened to his generals, it wouldn't have bought Germany a few more months. It would have probably bought Germany a few more years. That's probably what would have happened. The thing about that is, by 1944, the Allies stopped trying to assassinate Hitler. They gave up on it. They had tried to do it several times. The reason that they tried to stop trying to assassinate Hitler was because Hitler was making so many stupid mistakes, not letting his generals plan. And because of that, the Allies realized that if Hitler keeps interfering and keeps making stupid, moves, that he's going to basically cause Germany to lose faster than the other generals. Because if Hitler gets taken out, you might have another German general. Like, Germany isn't just going to, stop its war effort because Hitler gets taken out. If Hitler got taken out, another German general could have taken over, and that German general could have been much smarter. And they could have done serious damage, and Germany would have still ultimately lost, but the war could have been prolonged for years. And so that's ultimately why they stopped trying to assassinate Hitler, because they realized that Hitler was just doing so many stupid things, so many stupid mistakes, tactical mistakes, and causing Germany to lose. Thank you, Generals Alert. Well, Operation Valkyrie was a little bit different, because Operation Valkyrie, they had two phases to it. they had a phase where they were going to assassinate Hitler, but then they had a second phase where they were going to create a whole new government. So Operation Valkyrie was not just an attempt to kill Hitler, but it was an attempt to kill Hitler and create a new government in Germany. So they were planning on making a coup, and they were going to create a whole new government in Germany. That operation was the closest to actually ending World War II. That was the closest to ending World War II. World War II could have possibly been ended early if they had, in Europe, if they had, if Operation Valkyrie had succeeded. And the thing about that is, Valkyrie is such a depressing movie to watch, because you know exactly what's going to happen when you watch that movie. That's what's so depressing about it. Even if it's your very first time watching it, you know exactly what's going to happen. Hey, Pro, have you seen the TV show The Wire? No, I haven't, Mr. Nowhere. Tora. Isn't that a movie about the Battle of Midway? It's a Pacific War movie, right? It's an old movie, right? I've seen clips of it before. Do you have a date on when the Pegorino lore video comes out? No, man. I don't want to give an exact date because I don't know what's going to come up. I don't know when the GTA update is going to drop. So the GTA update, for all I know, could drop on Tuesday. And if it does drop on Tuesday, then I'm going to have a lot of work to do on the GTA update. And then the Pegorino lore video might get pushed back. So I don't know exactly when. The script is I have written a good amount of the script. So I don't want to give you an exact date because I don't want to disappoint you. The only thing I can tell you is this month. That's the only thing I can tell you. Here, going back to Imperial Japanese. Here's one thing I'll tell you guys about the Japanese. Do you know what the Japanese propaganda actually said about Americans? When Okinawa got taken, the Japanese believed that mainland Japan was next, that mainland Japan was going to get invaded. And Japanese propaganda, do you know how it depicted the American soldiers? The Japanese propaganda basically said that when American soldiers come into Japan, that they're going to rape Japanese women, they're going to bayonet Japanese babies, just mass murder people, and just, burn down entire towns, commit massive atrocities. Do you know what's hypocritical about that? The way the Japanese propaganda depicted the Americans is the exact same thing that Japan did in their conquered territories. Murdering babies, burning towns, raping women. The way the Japanese propaganda depicted the Americans is exactly what the Japanese did to people, to civilians. That is exactly what that's literally what I say it's so hypocritical, because it's that. Exactly, that's what I was getting at, is that the way the Japanese, go on Google and just look up Japanese World War II propaganda, and it just depicts the Americans as just like mass murderers and rapists. And that's exactly what the Japanese army was doing. That's what's so ridiculous about it, is the Japanese saw everybody else that they conquered as subhuman. Okay, let's see here. What about girls? What did the Japanese do to them? It's really, really bad. It's probably best I don't cover that part of history, because it's just really brutal. Internet Archive is full of World War II textbooks. Yes, there are so many sources that you could watch. There's one really good historian that I would recommend on YouTube. If you ever watch Mark Felton, that's Mark, and then Felton is Felton. He's a really good historian, really, really good. He explains a lot of things in detail, and he doesn't make it overly complicated either. But what I will say about the Japanese is Japan is a very different country today than what it was back then. Japan had a completely, complete turnaround. But here's the thing. Why is Japan such a peaceful country today? Japan is such a peaceful country, has a very low violent crime rate. It's not as violent and aggressive as it was in the past. Japan is not trying to conquer other countries. It doesn't make land claims to other countries today. But other countries, other countries around Japan make land claims. China makes claims to Taiwan. China makes claims to Taiwan. China makes also claims to parts of India. It makes claims on parts of Mongolia. North Korea makes claims on South Korea. Japan doesn't really make, land claims on anyone else. The only land claim that I know that Japan does make is they make the claim on the Kuril Islands. Correct me if I mispronounced that wrong, but those islands were Japanese in the past. They were taken by the Russians. But other than that, Japan is not, trying to, harass another country and, and try to take land from another country today. And it's not, threatening other countries, it's not harassing other countries, and Japan is a very overall peaceful country. But here's the question. Why is Japan so peaceful today, compared to the past? You know why Japan is so peaceful today? It's because after World War II, the Japanese culture has changed completely. Japan, think about it this way. Japan had basically gone around conquering and murdering so many people, but what never happened to them? War never came to them. War and destruction never came to them. And when war and destruction actually came to them, they had, 2 of their cities, completely destroyed, several cities that were firebombed. They saw the actual effects of what war was like in their country. When stuff like that actually happened, their culture completely changed, and they realized that this was not the way to go. And Japan, by having its military taken away from them, Japan was actually able to focus on other things. It was able to focus on other things, like investing in technology, investing in other resources. And Japan did a lot of trade, and today it's one of the richest countries in the world. So, if you look at countries like both Japan and Germany were very violent, aggressive countries, committed horrible atrocities. And they were both on massive conquering sprees. But both of those countries are relatively peaceful countries today. The reason that both of them are relatively peaceful countries is because total war came to them. When total war came to them, and their country was just completely destroyed, their culture changed. And the new generation realized, we're not going to do this again. We're not going to do any more war, no more conquering, no more imperialism. That is why Japan and Germany changed so much, because not only did they lose the war, but because it came to them. But what I will say, though, is there's one thing that I will say about Japan, though, that there's one thing about Germany, that Germany does something much better than Japan, and that is that even though Japan is a very peaceful country, it's a very safe country today, the difference between Germany and Japan is that Germany largely admits to its bad history, like its horrible history. The horrible things that Germany did during World War II, they admit to everything. They teach it in schools, they teach it heavily about the horrible things they do. They have memorials in their country to the people that the Nazis had murdered. But Japan, on the other hand, even though it's a very peaceful country today, it's not an imperialist country, it at a lot of portions of its history, they don't teach World War II very well. And they don't fully admit to a lot of the horrible things they did. And not only that, but Japan also has statues to some of these Japanese generals during World War II that committed horrible atrocities. So Japan does have that problem. Like, if you talk to a lot of Japanese people, they might not actually know about a lot of the horrible things that Imperial Japan did, because it's just not taught well in their schools. Comfort woman, let's see. Yeah, that was basically what the Japanese would call women that they would kidnap. Wait, what did you say, Mario? My goodness, they did what? I'm confused. My goodness, what? 8 and 2. No, I'm full. Holding here. Oh, I missed the super chat. I'm sorry. Oh, it's your boy. Yeah, I saw his super chat. I just didn't read his name, but yeah, there is a massive internet archive that you can read online. I know. The only thing I'm debating is I'm debating whether I should play the day before. I know it's garbage, but I'm just debating whether I should do a reaction to it, like just me reacting to the gameplay, the terrible gameplay. Yes, Japan definitely has less corruption than Germany. Definitely, I would agree with you on that. Japan is less of a corrupt country than Germany. However, though, what I will say about it is Germany, I would say, has a massive corruption problem, but Japan is one of the least corrupt countries in the world. Japan is less corrupt than a lot of Western countries. But what I will say though is that the bad thing that Japan does is that Japan they don't admit to a lot of the bad history they did. Bro, don't get it. I saw Angry Joe's video, and he couldn't get in due to the crappy servers, huh? I wouldn't say that the strict gun laws are the reason that Japan is such a safe country, because if you look at a country like Switzerland, for example, Switzerland is just as safe as Japan. It's one of the most safest countries in the world, and Switzerland has a somewhat pro-gun environment. Let me see here. Wait, Mario, you still here, man? What were you talking about earlier, Mario? You say, my goodness, what? I was confused what you were talking about. Well, I'm sorry if I didn't read a lot of your comments, little Neutron. I was just, there's just a lot of people that are posting. Isn't Japan the only country who was never directly invaded by a foreign power? Japan was invaded 2 times in its history. It was invaded by the US in Okinawa. Technically, that's part of Japan. And the other time that it was invaded in history, it was invaded by Mongolia. But Mongolia only invaded a few islands. They didn't invade mainland Japan. Oh, I'm sorry, Gretty, if I didn't see your comment. I apologize. Why was Albania became a Warsaw Pact member during the Cold War? What was the reason? Well, Albania was a communist country. Albania was a communist country, but here's the thing about Albania is I'm gonna win this hand 100%. Albania, to answer your question, Gretty, while it was a communist country, Albania allied itself with communist China. So it was on communist China's side. Most of the communist countries in Europe were on the Soviet Union side, but Albania, on the other hand, was on China's side, and that's why they left the Warsaw Pact. I'm gonna win a ton of money right now, guys. Watch this. I can't see myself not winning this hand. I'm gonna win this hand. Oh my god, he's got 3 jacks. Oh, I was certain I was gonna win that because I had 2 pairs. Damn, I was so confident I was gonna win that. Damn, I would have beaten everybody except the guy with the jacks. Oh my god, I had such a good hand too. Please don't play the day before. It's a scam. The servers are horrible. It's not even a survival game. It's a terrible extraction shooter. That was weird. Why were they allied with China? It's just the leaders in China had supported Stalinism. And what happened was Albania was a massive supporter of Stalinism. The Soviet Union and the Warsaw Pact became de-Stalinized. Albania did not like that, so they sided with China. It's okay, Sean. How are you, man? Why do the drug addict people hide in laundromat places? Just trying to think. I don't know. It's called The Day Before because the developers only started working on the game the day before its release. Oh, I love that. Okay, oh, this is gonna be... Oh... The Fallout TV show. Great question. The Fallout TV show, do you guys agree with me on this? The trailer for the Fallout TV show, I don't think it was that bad, but what I think was really bad, was the ghoul. The ghoul looked ugly. And it's kind of weird because ghouls technically, I guess, do look ugly, but that ghoul does not look like how a ghoul is supposed to look. Like, basically, the ghouls, they don't have noses, but their faces are, like, scarred. You have, like, their skin peeling off. But the ghoul in the Fallout TV show, his face was relatively clean. He only just didn't have a nose. And I thought that was, like, that's not what ghouls look like. Japanese soldiers in World War II, yeah. That was, that's why I didn't want to talk about it, Mario, because they did such horrible things. Okay, this is gonna be my last bet. I have the best cards. But... if there's an ace, I'm gonna win. What? Oh, we're splitting it. Okay. Okay, getting out of here. Yeah.
Well, I have to be moving.
Goodbye.
Mario, here's what I'll tell you something. If you are interested in the history of Imperial Japan, there's a movie that I would recommend you watch. And the movie is actually called City of Life and Death. And, City of Life and Death, I'm trying to remember who directed that movie. Let me just Google it right now here. The thing about City of Life and Death, okay, City of Life and Death, City of Life and Death is a Chinese movie, but City of Life and Death is actually a really good movie. It is a very good movie, and the City of Life and Death actually portrays the nationalist Chinese not as bad people, which I was actually very surprised by that, because typically when you have, World War II movies, Chinese World War II movies, typically the Chinese nationalists are portrayed as bad people, like just as bad as the Japanese, but, and the communists are always portrayed as the, the heroic, guys, but the nationalists also, a lot of them fought against the Japanese, the Chinese nationalists, but City of Life and Death, I would recommend that you watch it, Mario. It is actually a really good movie. And about City of Life and Death is, it's a very brutal movie. So I'm just warning you, if you decide to watch it, it is a very, very brutal movie. And the movie does not even portray every single Japanese soldier as a horrible person. There are some decent Japanese, soldiers in that movie that are not evil. So it's a pretty balanced movie, I would say. And what basically City of Life and Death is, it's called City of Life and Death. It's a movie about the rape of Nanking. when Japan had taken over Nanjing in China, and they mass murdered 200,000 people in 2 weeks. That's it's a very, very brutal movie if you decide to watch it, but it is pretty historically accurate. It is historically accurate. The Professional, can you say hi to Sean Easy? Oh, hi, Sean Easy. Hey, what's up, man? He's one of my moderators. Hi, my boyfriend and I just binged your GTA 4 series, and we absolutely adore your videos. Now we look forward to you. You're a very wholesome guy and have good morals. Don't stop being you. You're our favorite. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate that. And thanks, Sensitivity, for the super chat. Wait, what's wrong, April Night Zombie? What's not active, London? I haven't seen the blizzard yet. The blizzards are like are rare in Red Dead when there is snow. Blizzards do happen when there's a snow event. It's like really, it'll blow snow all over the place, but they're kind of rare. I miss my grandpa. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, April Night Zombie. Yeah, my condolences. My only worry for the Fallout TV show is that they will mess with the lore. We're in California and the NCR is not present. Brotherhood are strong when they should be weak in the West Coast. Yeah, it does not make much sense. Hey, but just look on the bright side, Mr. Nowhere, though. The Fallout TV show might have 16 times the detail. So, you never know. Thank you for the super chat, though, man. Bro, is your GTA 6 video tomorrow talk about the new gun shop guy in the trailer? No, it's not about, that. But it's gonna be about something, another lore thing. Oh, it did, Mario. What was the... Well, I can imagine that they were probably asking about a dictator. The guy that's having the Spanish headline, you mean the Joker guy? No, but I might have a separate video talking about that. Yeah, my horse is hungry. Let me feed it here. Hey, bro, awesome stream tonight. Thank you, man. I've actually played that game a long time ago, Fernando. I did like it. Yeah, it takes place in Los Angeles. Do you think you have to put gas in your car in GTA 6 to get across the map? I don't think Rockstar will go for that realism. Though, honestly, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that if you have to buy gas for your car. What gangs are in modern Florida? I probably would not be able to answer that question. Probably somebody from Florida here might know. I do know the cartels do have a presence in Florida. So the cartels have a somewhat of a presence in Florida. You would probably see outlaw bikers, the Angels of Death. I don't know. Like, can somebody here tell me what kind of gangs are in Florida? I could imagine there probably would be like a Cuban gang, probably like you have in GTA Vice City, but I really don't know. Bloods and Crips are in Florida. Okay. Would you ever do speedruns of video games? Maybe one day. I usually just like to do playthroughs and take my time. I don't know what speedrun is for me. I'll have another part of Bully tomorrow. Clues were, China offer a communist revolution and leader, and was solved with just the first 2 clues. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get striked, but I did, it was a copyright claim. That's what's annoying about it. I am liking Bully, yeah. Corrupt security firm. Oh, you mean Merryweather, yeah. Merryweather, there's a chance they might be there. Next Medal of Honor Pacific Assault video, maybe tomorrow. What about the Game Awards? I don't really care for them. I don't watch them, though, personally. Maybe I could play that one day, Preston. Okay. Okay. Which countries are the worst way of living during the Cold War? Yugoslavia or Albania? Albania. Albania was worse to live in than in Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia would have higher standards of living. The voice actor of Kratos is burned Activision for how short Modern Warfare 3 was on Big Dude Call of Duty is dead at this point. Yep. It's, I heard about that. I heard about how the Call of Duty developers are pissed about that, too. Even Og will block anyone on social media if you call him Trevor. What? Is that true? Is that really true? If that is true, that's just stupid. You know, I can understand him wanting to do other projects besides, like, just being known for just GTA. Like, I can understand wanting to expand your career, but, like, that's what he's known for, is Trevor. It's just like, it's like me. Like, you know, I do other stuff on my channel, but most people know me for GTA, but I don't get all pissed off about that. But that's, Oh, that's the armored car people, right? In Vice City? The corrupt armored car people, London? Honestly, for the Vinewood Car Garage should be accessible. Maybe you have to pay 2.5 to 4 million, and then GTA Plus would get still for free. That way everyone can get it, Fots. If you can still buy the 100 Car Garage as regular GTA money, then I guess it would be less worse, but still, it's, the episode was in 233. Actually skipped in modern reruns because the following puzzle was on. Oh, yeah, There was I wonder how well I would do on that show. Just if they had like a history part on it, just on the Password Plus. I wonder how well I would do on that. But I guess I'll be going here, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. And if you guys enjoyed my, if you guys did enjoy my stream, do drop a like on it. It does help me out a lot. And I'll see you guys on the next one. And I'll have another part of Bully up for you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, everyone. And have a wonderful weekend, guys.